I'm Nurse Jessica Seitz, along with Nurse Erica. We're Nurses Uncorked, the podcast that takes nursing facts with nursing comedy and makes a little cocktail out of it. Hello, everybody. It's another week of Nurses Uncorked. Thanks for joining myself, Nurse Jessica Seitz, and Nurse Erica. We weren't sure if we were going to get an episode out this week,
really
honestly, but this is under the wire here because this is going to pertain to what this week's podcast is about. We were on a boat. I'm on a boat. Did you see that? I shared that earlier today.
No.
Anyways, we're going to be talking. I'll get into that. We're going to be talking about NurseCon cruise. We were on a NurseCon cruise, and all the details about all of that. The highs, the lows.
Just got back like 10 hours ago or something. 12 hours ago.
Yeah. The people are tired. Tired people here.
And the podcast comes out tomorrow. So like we pushing it. It.
Yeah. We're recording like the evening before it's supposed to come out. So if we have any mishaps or whatnot, pardon us.
Sleep deprived.
Yeah. Before we get into the drink of the week, I wanted to remind everybody that Nurses Uncorked now has a Patreon, which is so exciting. We have a couple Patreon members that have just joined us because we just started, which we're so excited about. And we're going to start getting more content headed your way that'll be just for you guys. And I apologize on the delay, but like I said, we were partying it up. We had to do it. Somebody had to do it, and that was us. So we apologize for that, but if you would like to join our Patreon, it's in the description of this podcast. You can check it out, or it's at patreon.podbean.com/NUP. If you're wondering what NUP is, that's Nurses Uncorked podcast. So we have 2 wine bottle members. You can be that, or you can be higher. So feel free to check that out. All right, the drink of the week. Let's do it. Erica, what drink can't we do this week?
We cannot do a Moscato, which if you've listened for a while, you know is my favorite type of wine. Why can't we do a Moscato? Because the entire Norwegian cruise line doesn't have but 1 bottle of Moscato.
And they said it's very expensive and in high demand.
What brand
people.
was it again?
It was Barefoot. It's like one of the.
Was it? It was like Menage. What is it?
Oh, Menage a Trois. It was Menage a Trois. Yeah, Menage a Trois.
I'm pretty sure it's like $8.99.
I've seen that at Walgreens and CVS in Grand Supply. But I don't know. Yeah. Maybe there's something going on.
So Jessica kept telling me on the cruise, you need to drink more because you're not being fun. And I kept saying, I think Erica was trying to behave,
whereas I was not. But Erica was trying to be good. Yeah.
But also I was kind of seasick the whole time. So it was
true.
Yeah. Anyway, but so I kept saying, I would love to drink, but I can't find Moscato anywhere. Every time I went to a bar, I would ask for, and I kept thinking, oh, it's just that bar that doesn't have it. No, none of the bars have it. And finally we go to a restaurant, like a nice sit down restaurant on the ship. And I ask for it, and they're like, ooh, like I'm asking for something crazy. And they're like, you want Moscato? And I'm like, yes, I would love a glass of Moscato on the cruise. Is that asking so much?
No.
And it's like,
Erica, it was like you were in trouble. You were in trouble for asking for it. There was like multiple people coming. Ma'am, did you ask for Moscato?
Did.
Are you the one trying to order Moscato?
They escalated it up the chain of command, and more people kept coming and asking about it. And then they tried to say, well, it's a very expensive. No, the fuck it's not.
No, it's not. No. I assure you, I don't care if it's Riesling, Moscato, Chardonnay, anything Menage a Trois is not a pricey.
Finally, they say they think they have 1 bottle somewhere on the ship, so they send someone to I don't know where, to come back with this mythical bottle
through the cobwebs in the wine cellar all the way down.
And they're so proud of themselves. They come back with this 1 bottle of the screw-on cap, and they're like, "It's very expensive."
Yeah, and they like, you know how like the waiters put it on their arm, like, Look at this, we have, madame, is this what you've ordered, ma'am?" And then they pour a driblet. Would you like
Yeah.
to try? Yes,
Yes.
we'll try the menage a trois
I'm
from
gonna take
CVS.
it
Thank you.
regardless. They wouldn't let me do a glass because it's so expensive. I had to get the whole bottle for $27.99. I'm like, "Fine, give me the whole bottle, whatever. Can I just have."
That
I find it impossible to understand that on an entire cruise made primarily of women, right? Because it's nurses predominantly. They don't have any Moscato. Like, I cannot possibly be the only person on that cruise asking for a glass of Moscato. And they're all looking at me like I have four heads or something. It was
and poor
bizarre.
Erica, that's all she wanted was
All I wanted was
go-to
the
her
Moscato
go-to wine. And
on a
no, she
cruise.
had to pay high dollar. High
But
dollar.
wait, here's the best part. The last night of the cruise, I went to dinner with my friend Matt, and he didn't know any of the Moscato drama. And we sit down and they come to take our
Moscato
drink orders.
drama.
And
Sounds so
they
serious.
ask him if he would like a drink, and he says, "I would love a glass of Moscato." And they're like, "Sure, right away." And I'm like, "What?"
Same restaurant, mind you.
What?
Same restaurant.
Yeah.
And they brought it to him like nothing.
Yeah.
I-
Well, so what
I
is
don't-
that? Is it because he's a man? What is that? There was no 4 or 5 people called. No one had to go to the wine cellar on the other. He just got it.
I
No
bet he
questions
got it
asked.
at every bar probably the whole time. They were saving it for him.
What the hell? So there's no
I don't know.
Moscato drink of the week because Norwegian Cruise Lines.
That's it. So I'm sitting
have
here
iced tea.
and we're not drinking Moscato. That's it. That's the drink of the week is not Moscato.
Not
Okay?
Moscato.
Yeah. Enjoy. So I think it's important to preface this podcast by saying any complaints we may have is not against NurseCon or anything
Right.
associated with NurseCon at sea, because
Not at all.
from what you hear, you'll hear as we start from the beginning to the end. They were amazing. Like I think Nurse Blake and the whole team was great.
Yeah.
Now the cruise line, if we get into some bitchiness, it was a little off,
A little off.
which is not Nurse Blake's fault. And
No.
he typically
And this was, I
does
think, their first
Royal
year.
Caribbean. Yeah.
Yeah. This is their first year.
With
And it's
Norwegian.
already announced it's going to be a different cruise line next year. So, you know.
Correct. So I'm sure he
they can't-
recognized some of the mishaps and things
Yeah.
happen. Things, what are you
that
going to
they
do?
can't control.
No, they
Yeah.
can't. No control. Out of control. What are you going to do? And they heard our pleas. They heard the cries of the people, and they're going to fix it up for us come next year.
Yeah.
But where do we start? The beginning?
Well, I was going to say, what was your favorite part of the cruise? Maybe let's start with that.
I think I had two favorite parts.
Okay.
No, gosh, I probably had three. I had a lot of favorite parts. One of the highlights, I loved Blake's show. I thought Nurse Blake's stand-up
so
was
funny.
amazing. I thought it was hysterical. Like, literally, I told our friend Erica not Erica. You're right here. Our friend
I am.
Tina from Good Nurse podcast. I said, even if I was explaining to her, because she unfortunately missed it, she was sleeping. It was things happen. I said, even if I had tried not to laugh, like if I physically tried to refrain from laughing, I would not have been able to not. And for me, that's a lot to say. Erica knows that. I'm a little particular about what I find funny.
It was
Maybe I
hilarious.
have a weird sense of humor, but it was very funny. So that was one of the highlights. Loved the drag queen show. Loved it.
I didn't see that.
And I'll talk about more stuff, but loved meeting new people. What about you, Erica? What would you say?
Yeah, if I had to pick two, I would say also Nurse Blake's show. We'll get into that. It was hilarious. Like, I laughed pretty much nonstop
Yeah,
the
it was
entire
funny.
time. And he said that he was trying out like new material on us. That's going to be for his next tour, I believe. And all I can say, I just saw his show in October, so I thought it was going to be the same show again, and it was not. It was completely different. The last show was phenomenal. This one was phenomenal, and you can tell they're still kind of like tweaking it a little bit, twerking it,
Which one?
tweaking it
They're
a little bit.
twerking. Damn, go Blake, go. Which one did you
But
find
it was
funnier,
so
Erica?
good. I would say the
Did-
last one was a little longer, but this one I think probably will be longer when they're done with it, if I had to guess. But this one, I think the new one
yeah.
is hilarious. And there was a mic drop moment. Maybe we'll get into that. But yeah, if you get a chance to go see his new tour, I don't know when that's going to start, go see it because hilarious. I did not stop laughing. So that was definitely a highlight for me. And then also getting to meet a lot of really great people. Some were like, I don't know, fans that wanted to meet me or you. And then also getting to meet people that I've been mutuals with for a long time. That was amazing. So I got to meet Rogue Nurse Creations. She's the one, if you follow me, you've seen me post about the Wilted Daisy pin. And she has this hugely successful Etsy shop and makes all these great nurse things. And so her and I have been friends for a while, but we finally met on the cruise. And then Nurse Fern, her name is Emma.
Yeah.
If you don't follow her on social media, she's on all the different platforms. You should follow her. She talks all about remote nursing. And I spent quite a bit of time with her. And then Sara from the Gritty Nurse podcast, which is a Canadian nursing podcast that she co-hosts. Her co-host couldn't make it, Amie, because she had just had a baby. But I spent a lot of time with her, and she wrote a book. Actually, I happen to have it here. I'm going to hold it up. You guys should it's called The Wisdom of Nurses. And it is on Amazon. And I started reading it on the plane home last night. They were so impressive. I loved spending time with them. So getting to spend time with people like that and getting to know people was great. Yeah. And getting to meet all the nurses that are so excited to meet me and you. And I try really hard not to be awkward, but I fail every time.
I think Erica and we were flabbergasted that people came up to us and said they love the podcast. We were like, people are listening.
Yeah.
I was like, really? I'm like, you know about the podcast?
They would come up and be like just raving. And then I would say just a couple of times, I'm like, but do you, they're like, I followed you since Redon Devad and this and this. And they would name all these things. And I'd say, but do you listen to the podcast? And they would say, you have a podcast?
Yes. Right. It was either one or the other.
I post about it 3 times every single week on every platform.
It was one or the other. But the ones that knew were like diehard. They're like, we love it. Best podcast ever. Listen every week. Either they were really good liars or they really like us. I think they really liked us, which was super cool. Super cool to hear.
Yeah.
So should we go into where it all started?
Yeah, you start.
Well,
should we just go through like day by day, kind of a little bit, highlights?
Yeah. So day 1 was pre-cruise day, I would say. Let's start with that.
Okay.
I missed the cruise last year. That's a whole nother story. Missed the boat. So this was
my first year.
Paranoid this year of missing the boat. So Erica and I arrived the day before. And we got a hotel room that would be really close. It left out of Miami, right, Erica? Out of the port of Miami on Norwegian Cruise Lines. And so that day was on Monday. Yeah, we spent the night a week ago, 7 days ago exactly. That was the day of the eclipse, the solar eclipse.
Yes. Yeah, and you were kind of sad you couldn't be with your family because you guys are big like eclipse people.
Yes. And my family went to watch the total solar eclipse in the line of totality. They started in Texas and then I don't know where the hell they ended up. They went somewhere because Texas was cloudy, but Erica and I watched it through the hotel window.
We actually got to see it, which I wasn't expecting. We were really high up and we had this huge window and we could kind of see it for a little while. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, it looked like maybe half of it was covered, if I'd say, from where we were at. But that was neat to see. Then Erica
Yeah.
tried to freeze me out of the hotel room.
You tried to freeze me out of the hotel room.
Anytime I room with Erica, this is what happens. I'll notice that I'm sweating from the pits, okay? Pit sweat. And I think to myself, that bitch has done turned the thermostat up. And sure enough, I'll look and it's cranked up. And then I won't
Yep.
say anything. And I go boop, 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 boop. And I turn it down, okay?
Then when she goes in
Not
the
an hour
bathroom.
later, I'll start sweating again. And I'm like, she waited till I was out of sight and cranked that thing up again. So this is what we just go back and forth and back and forth. But if Erica still feels cold, which I don't, there's something wrong with her. There's something seriously
and
wrong with
someone
her.
commented on your video and said she needs to get her iron checked. I promise you my iron levels are normal.
Oh, is that what they said? Your iron?
Yes.
Hey,
I just had lab work done. It's fine. I've been cold my entire life. My baseline is like
really?
a 96.9 my entire life.
Where
I'm always
where
cold.
were you originally born? You weren't
California.
born in Nevada.
California.
Oh my God. What the hell is wrong with you? So then Erica's like, guest services, hello? Yes. Could you please bring up a few comforter blankets to my room, please? I'm like, for the love. Like, you would think I had the thermostat on like 50 degrees, okay?
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so I had to pick on her for that. That was fun. What did we eat?
We ordered room service to the room.
That's right. Okay.
Yeah.
So we ate that, and then we were supposed to meet up with our other roommate for the cruise, Tina, but she had a bit of a delay and but she did make the cruise. She just couldn't meet us up until the next day. So that brings us, we're up to speed for cruise day, I think.
Cruise day one.
You start with cruise day one, Erica.
Okay, so we Uber. Tina gets to the hotel, and then we Uber to what's it called? The dock? I don't know. Where's that?
Port of Miami. Yeah, where the cruise ships are.
And there's like hundreds, thousands of people outside, nurses lining up. I get really nervous. You're fine. I was very nervous walking in, knowing that there was like 3,500 nurses. I never know what to expect. I get and you're not at all. I get very nervous. And then you hear people, like, you walk by and people are like, TikTok, Instagram. Like, are they talking about me? It's a weird thing. And then you get people looking at you that kind of, you can tell they want to come up to you, but then they don't. And you never know, like, it's just, I get very uncomfortable. I get very nervous. Anyway.
I want to say we like it. Anytime anyone listening.
I love it.
Yeah, we don't. People
when someone comes up
scared.
to me, I love it. I love to talk to nurses. I love to meet them. It's the ones that look at me funny. I'm like, what's wrong with me? Why are they looking at me? Did I spill something? Like, what? But
and sometimes
so I was
they're looking, and I think they're trying to put together sometimes where they know you from. Like, there's some people that happens to them, and they're like, I know them from somewhere, and it's like they draw a blank. I think at one person, at some point they called you Nurse Jessica. Like, aren't you Nurse Jessica?
Yeah, literally yesterday in the airport coming home, they're like, "Oh my God, it's Nurse Jessica!" And I said, "Close, not quite."
Yeah. Some people asked me if we were sisters. I've gotten that a couple times.
Because other than the blonde hair, we really don't look alike. But they keep saying that.
I think we're being stereotyped as blonde women, and I'm angry. No, I'm just kidding. I really.
Okay, so let's talk about how before we even went through security at the port, whatever, Jessica can't find her passport, and we had already turned in our suitcases. So the suitcases are gone, and she's like, "I think it's in my suitcase," and I'm like, "Run back to the guy that try to get your suitcase back, or else we're screwed. You won't be able to get on." You had
to have either a passport or a birth certificate. And I had my passport, but
I'm starting to panic.
I couldn't find it. I could not find it.
And she's not running back, and she's just digging through her stuff. Finally, she found it. I'm like, thank you, God. So we go through security, we go up whatever, we go through like a billion different security checkpoint things, and then we just had to wait there forever for a very long time.
Yeah. Um,
Yeah.
we are in a room for a while until I think maybe until they gather enough people that then they
I
start
don't know how that works.
announcing you to come in or whatnot. So that just gave us time to make some more TikToks. I got to pick on Erica. We got to meet some people while we were waiting around. And it wasn't too bad. I think maybe we waited like
No.
maybe a half hour or something like that. But for some reason we were parched. Like I don't
Yeah.
I don't know
Because there
why,
was
but
no water anywhere and you couldn't
well, it
like
ran
bring it in
out.
with you. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, you couldn't bring it in, and then the huge things they had, the nurses were gulping it down like
Yeah.
fish, and it was just
Yeah.
gone. So we were thirsty, but
Yeah.
finally we got
We
to go
boarded.
onto the ship. Yep,
And that's
and
exciting
we
when you
went.
first walk in. That's always
It
exciting
is.
to see everything. That's fun. This is only my
They're
second
like,
cruise.
"Ma'am, can we take your picture?" We were like, "No." Not fans. We're talking about like the cruise
The
people.
cruise
We would
people
just
that wanna
wanted to get
charge
to the
you.
room.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we went straight to our room, I think, didn't we? We went straight to our room, and
Yes.
the room was nice. It had a balcony, which I was so excited about because I didn't know until right before we left that we were gonna have a balcony, and I was so happy about that. I love that. It's a little teeny tiny room. I had a little, like I think it's like a couch that becomes a little twin size bed if you have a third person in the room. But it was good. It was
Yep.
comfy, it was fine, but it's close quarters. Very close
Very
quarters.
close. Very close. Very
Yeah.
very close.
So we just tried to get
Tight.
situated, and then what did we do? What was the first day?
The first day was just the welcome party, like
Yeah.
sail away party. We started meeting people, talking to people, um, just kind of getting acclimated to the ship because
You don't
this was
know
the
where
first
anything
time that,
is.
yeah, they were doing a different cruise line. So, and I've never been on Norwegian, so I was just trying to figure out the ship and just kind of get used to where things were. And
Yeah.
God, I feel like a week ago was so long ago already.
I know,
Like,
it's, like, hard to remember, and we literally just got back. Yeah. And then I think we went to the buffet to eat,
yep,
right? There. What did
yep,
you think of the
yep.
buffet? What did you think of the food?
Um, s- eh,
Eh,
some days were better
eh,
than other days. It was okay. But
yeah.
like a lot of
Some
cruise
things were
ships, it
good.
was it was repetitive. So like once you've had it for 1 or 2 days, you're
Mhm.
like over it, and it's kind of the same stuff. Um,
Yeah.
but I think a lot of cruise ships kind of do that. So that part is, but
You know what
it was
annoyed
all right. It
me?
was what?
Trying to get
Tell me.
coffee in the morning. Okay, so there's a Starbucks on board, which is super nice, except the line is a mile long pretty much anytime. So trying to go there in the morning is like just not going to happen. So you think, okay, I'll go to the buffet and get coffee. Well, like if you just want to bring coffee back to your room, well, the coffee cups are like those little Demitas, whatever cups that are so, I mean, it's got to be like maybe 4 ounces, right? Why do they not have, and there's no covers or anything, so you slosh around and spill it if you try to bring it back to your room. Why do they not have little like disposable to go coffee cups there so people can
I I don't know
why?
if they're trying to cut down on trash on the ship. I'm not sure if there's a reason. I have no idea. But
That's
they
so
could have made the
annoying.
cup a little bigger. These are nurses.
Yeah.
Nurses we we need our caffeine. Like
Yes.
seriously. And it was just
Yes.
like the tiniest. I remember now. I'm looking at pictures. We set up our room too. Remember? We unpacked. We put all
Oh,
of our
yeah,
magnets on the door.
you did the door. You decorated the door. So everyone that walked by our door knew whose room it was, which is like it's like a thing on cruise ships. People decorate doors, right? I don't know. It's only my second cruise, but Jessica brought magnets. Our pictures were all over it. There was no mistaking, which is funny because later in the cruise, people were like, I've been looking for you. I've been going up and down halls. You've been hiding. We're not hiding. Our face is on the door. It's right here.
Yeah.
But it's a big
But
ship.
think of how many floors there are and how many rooms. I mean,
Yeah.
it's crazy. I mean,
Yeah. It's
they
like
can
over
these
2,000
ships can
rooms.
pack a lot of people. And then the
Yeah.
first night remember we started seeing the trend of ducks. We kept finding ducks everywhere.
Yeah, do
They
you
were
guys know
tiny.
about this duck thing on cruises? I just found out about this before we left. I didn't know this was a thing. I guess people, like, hide little
I
rubber
don't know if
ducks.
it is a thing. Either that or the
No, I think
nurses
it is.
started this thing.
No,
I don't
it's a
know.
thing
But
outside
we
of
were like,
nursing.
"Oh, okay." We were like, "What? Why do we keep
Why are
finding"
there
like the
ducks?
little ducks that people put on the Jeeps, like on their Jeeps? It
Yeah,
was like that. But a lot of them were like they had little cruise hats on. It was cute. So the
they
whole
were
cruise
cute.
became a duck hunt. People
People were
people were
looking
looking.
hard, and people got they had, like, magnetic little tiny ducks that would stick to doors. They would put, like, little tiny ones, put them on top of picture frames and stuff. I never found one, but I wasn't really looking. But people were going crazy. And then one night there was a knock at our cabin door, and you opened it and some random person was handed you a duck and said, "You've been ducked." Remember?
Yeah, yeah. So and a lot of them would write notes saying like you can either keep it or rehide it. I liked rehiding it, except at the very end I found two to give to my kids. But I would always like to find one and then put it somewhere else for somebody else to find because I felt like that kind of kept the fun going of
Yeah.
the duck hunt.
Rogue Nurse Creation, the Wilted Daisy, my friend, she hid a ton of her merch, like a ton of the Wilted Daisy pins and stuff around the cruise. So if you were lucky enough to find those, she hid a lot all around the cruise. She had fun doing that.
Yeah, yep. And people were in high demand for ducks or wilted daisies. That's all
Yeah.
people would ask for. Where
Yeah.
can I get a daisy and a wilted daisy, and where can I get a duck?
Yeah.
Like that was the hot commodity. So that I
Yeah.
think that sums up day one.
Mhm.
But really the ship doesn't even take off till like 5. So I think everybody's pretty tired on the first day. Like it's
Yeah.
all this
Trying to get
adrenaline and excitement.
situated and yeah, get through everything
So
and get on board and yeah.
yeah, I can't think that we missed anything. That was day 1. So I
Yeah.
think the real fun started on day 2 in my
Mhm.
opinion.
Yeah.
Because it started the theme days, like the themes that
Yeah.
they
What was
had
the theme
planned.
for day
So
2? Was that emo?
emo. That was emo. Um so during the day, it was a day at sea. So we all like either hung out by the pool or you could do your CEU classes if you wanted. Or I don't know, do nothing. Take a nap. It was just a day at sea to kind of chill out and relax. We played bingo by the pool, which was fun. They called it Slingo.
Oh, yeah,
There
that
was
was so much
songs.
fun. That was a lot of fun. Yeah.
There
Tell
was
them about
really
your
good
bikini,
music.
though.
Oh wait, before the bikini, I didn't listen to the instructions on Slingo, so
Oh,
I thought
yeah.
I had won, okay? Because I had a
She's like,
full line on my
"Bingo!"
card. So I'm like running up to the DJ like a ding dong. I'm like, I won. And he looks at the thing. He's like, the whole card has to be filled. I'm like, the
The whole
whole
card.
card.
I've never heard of
Yeah.
that for bingo.
So I had clearly had not won,
Yeah.
but I did, um, I was excited to I made my own bikini. Yes, I made a Nurse
You
Jessica
have
Sites
to
bikini.
see this to appreciate it.
Yes, it was white, with like little black ties, like a typical like triangle top bikini, I would say. And I had my logo on each breast, if you will, and on each breast, and
It
on the
said
butt,
Nurse
I had
Jessica
my
Size.
logo. But thank the Lord, Erica said to me before I went out that day. She
Uh-huh.
goes, "Are you at all worried about it being see through with it being white?" And I was like, I hadn't thought about that. I was like, I don't know. So I did not chance it. I decided to not get into the water and thank the Lord I did not because
It
I
was
tested it later that day and you would have been able to see every
everything.
iota of everything. So hallelujah that I did not test that out in front of 3,500
Yeah.
nurses. Thank the Lord
Yeah.
for that.
But I'm just
Yeah.
impressed that you can pull off I kept saying this, a white string bikini. Like, first of
I'm
all,
like,
who can pull off a
Erica
white
kept saying
bikini?
string bikini.
I'm the whitest person
Like
in
as
the
if
world. Like, a white bathing suit sounds scarier than anything to me. And you looked amazing in it. You looked
I got a
absolutely
spray
amazing.
tan. It was
Oh, well,
not
I did
real. It was
too,
a
but I
spray
still
tan.
couldn't pull that off. You looked great.
Well, thank you for the compliment, but I will say Erica kept cracking me up like string bikini. I'm like, versus what? Versus
It was the
a
little
full
triangle
fledged.
string. I don't know. You looked great. I could not. I
Oh,
could
let's get
never.
into good details. So there was two, I would say, types of nurse bikinis. It was either maybe something similar to I had on. Actually, we'll say three. Something similar to
Okay.
I had on, or a one piece that's more coverage,
Okay.
for people that wanted to cover, or the whole ass was out. It was just
Yep. There was some of
sun's out,
those.
ass out. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
like the newer high. A lot of people had on the high waisted ones
Yeah.
with the thing that barely covers your butt cheeks. Like
Yeah.
it's a new trend. So there was a
Yeah.
lot of ass.
There was a lot
Lots
of
of
ass.
yeah,
And,
yeah.
and let's talk
And
about
and
things observed in and around the pool. Tell them about the first day. The girl.
the cooter canoe? Oh.
No, there is a cooter canoe.
Oh.
Oh, she said,
Yeah.
oh.
Well,
I
yeah,
did not
okay.
see this,
Well,
actually.
Blake, I missed it, but evidently at some point Blake came out with an inflatable the cooter
I saw
canoe,
that.
yeah.
A
Did you
Purewick
see
that's a
yes, the
giant
pirouette.
floaty.
Did you see the video where he got in the pool and then some
Yeah.
girl leapt on him? Like
Yes.
on him.
Yes.
Like
Yes. Yes.
I was surprised that the security men
Let
out
that,
of
yeah.
nowhere there was a
No warning.
flying
Just
woman in the air.
and then the video cuts off
Le-
right as she's landing.
yeah. Yeah.
He's a good
So
sport,
wait,
though.
what was the other?
He's a good sport. So the
He
girl,
was what?
the girl at the
Oh,
pool, the
yes.
first day. This poor
God,
girl. Oh my
God,
God. I don't know who
God
she
bless
was.
this. God bless her. No, I'm sure somebody does. And if you're hearing this woman, I've been there. I can't lie. It's been many years ago. I have. I've been there. You go, you're excited. You're like, yeah, I'm gonna party. You hit it full speed ahead, the alcohol. I'm invincible. I can do it all. And
Yeah.
then it all takes over you. And then you're not doing it all anymore. You're doing nothing. And you're flopping into a pool passed out where people have to pull you up out of the water. God bless this woman. Because she went down. It was like that song, I'm going down, I'm going timber. You better move. You better dance. She went pow. And God
She went
bless her.
under. It
People
could have
pulled
been
her
bad.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah. And off she went to night bed. And it was still lights out. Night.
Yeah.
Night she went.
Yeah.
But yeah, so some people hit
That
it
was
hard. I
right
bet
at the
she did not
beginning.
feel good.
I mean, there was some
Yeah.
serious partying going on. There was, at times there was some flashing of some things, right? Which
Yeah.
I heard
Body
some
parts
people maybe thought was inappropriate, but it was an 18 and over cruise. Like there was no kids allowed, and it was all nurses. And
Now,
nurses
let me
have,
say, had a nurse flash me her tits, I would have laughed hysterically. That's
yeah, like,
my
whatever.
opinion.
Whatever. Yeah.
Had I had my husband with me, I think I still would have laughed hysterically. I would have teased him probably and been like, "Oh, you looked at that real long," but I wouldn't have taken it seriously. But I think
that
not
wouldn't
a lot
have
of people,
bothered
but
me
some.
at all.
And if you're asking, how do you know this, Nurse Erica and Nurse Jessica? How do you know people were bothered? There's a group. There's a group for everything. There's a Facebook group
there are some unofficial Facebook groups that were, the tea.
They were narrating it step by
like
step.
in real time. Like you would see something happen and 2 seconds later it would be in this Facebook group. I would hear. I never saw the Facebook group, but everyone was telling me about it. Yeah. But
It
so
would
that
if
didn't
you want to
bother
know what
me.
it is, it's not that hard to figure it out. Yeah, I mean, just
Yeah.
follow the name of the
But they were
cruise,
like
and you could
unofficial
probably find it.
ones, you know.
Yeah,
Um,
this was not created by Nurse Blake or anything. These were just people
no. The
attending the cruise.
occasional
So
boob perhaps flashing, whatever, like whatever, that doesn't bother me. But
Erica,
the you
Erica's like boob, string
the
bikini,
I don't
boob
care.
and string bikini,
But like
and I'm like,
why
she showed her titties.
yeah. Yeah, whatever. But why was every bathroom co-ed? Every
Tell Tina's
bathroom.
story, Erica. Tell them what happened to
Yeah, Tina
Tina.
didn't know it was co-ed, and so she went in and there's, a couple guys at a urinal. She just did an about face and walked right.
Yeah, all
I
she
didn't
saw was
care.
the sign that had a woman's, dress on it. She didn't pay attention that it was,
No.
and you know it.
All the bathrooms
It,
were
it may
co-ed.
not bother a lot of people, but I just think she was shocked because she just assumed she was walking into a women's
Yeah.
bathroom. And she said all she saw was urinals and men lined up taking a
Mhm.
whiz. And
Mhm.
she immediately was like, "Oh
She just walked
my,"
out.
and scurried away.
It was funny. It was funny.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, that was
So there was a
hysterical,
lot of
which led to
craziness around the pool. And that was consistent throughout the entire cruise, right? I would say that was like a big focus of partying, right? Was
which
in and
I love
around
because I
the
love
cruise
people
or the pool.
watching. Do you
Me
like
too.
people watching, Erica?
I do.
Me too.
Yeah, I totally
Like
do. Yeah. And there's some fun,
I
there's some interesting people.
I tried to be good. Normally, I could get all up in that madness, but I'm like, I have to behave myself. Like so I tried to like, if I was gonna drink, I tried to wait till later in the day, like towards the evening, because I was just worried that I'd be like that poor girl that just
Yeah. Yeah.
flopped into the water and it was over. And I didn't want to be like Nurse Jessica face down in pool. News at 11.
Can
No,
you
I
imagine?
didn't. Oh my
Yeah,
god.
that's all we would need. Yeah.
No, 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 no. No. No.
So
No.
that second day at sea was a day for CEUs, and I went to my friend Matt's, who he was on our podcast on, I think I looked it up, it was episode 31, the legal nurse consultant, if you want to go back and listen to it. He was one of the educators on the cruise, and he taught a few different classes. But that first day was EMTALA, and I went and listened to that. And I just got to give him a shout out because he is so smart and so eloquent and really impressive. And he got like applause in the middle of, what should be a boring kind of a subject, right? On EMTALA. He got applause. So it was cool. It was cool. I got to see him a couple
I
of
forgot
times.
to say that I got to meet him for the first time, and I
Yeah.
have never met
Yeah.
Matt in person. So that was fun. He's such a nice guy, like so
Yeah.
genuine and friendly. So I was excited to meet him in person. He has been on our podcast, so if you want to check out an earlier episode
Yeah.
about legal nurse consulting. So
Mhm.
that was definitely fun.
Yeah.
Matt, I did not go to your class. Don't be mad. I didn't.
You didn't
I
go to
did not.
any classes.
Shut up, Erica. Don't tell anybody. I went to
I
them
went
all of them,
I
and I am
went
very well
to like
educated.
5.
What a nerd. What a nerd, man.
There was some really good ones though.
Boob,
Some really, really interesting.
string bikini,
And
boob. I should have gone to EMTALA because I need to learn more about that, to be honest. I mean, I understand the premise of it, but I don't really understand how they make the decisions and the criteria. So I should have gone. I wonder if you can
yeah.
still watch them. I don't know.
I don't know if they're going to be on his website. I don't know. But if you are ever wondering about going on his cruise, Nurse Blake's cruise in the future, and they have subjects for anything, any specialty in nursing, like literally anything you would want to learn about, they have CEUs on. They really are broad and cover everything. And they also do meetups on the first day of any kind of specialty group or like LGBTQ, like any kind of demographic. They do little individual meetup groups. So if you want to go be like with pediatric nurses or, CVICU nurses, you go to this room at 4:00, whatever. So you get to really even if you go on there alone and you don't know anyone, you really get to know like your people very quickly if you want to, you know?
Oh yeah. I'll have to get into that too. Gosh, because I met some people and I found my people. I can tell you
You
that.
found your people.
I found my
Okay.
people, and then these people found Erica. Um,
Oh, those people.
right.
Yes.
I love
Yeah.
them.
Yeah.
Amazing, amazing people. So we did emo night.
Hmm.
God, this maybe have to
What
be a
did you wear?
two-parter episode.
It might be.
I created my own outfit. I didn't want to do traditional like emo. I mean, I know of the emo phase, but I was already creating a costume because my 7-year-old daughter, loves Taylor Swift. So I had made her the Taylor Swift Reputation costume, the one that she's got like one leg and one arm covering missing, but then she has one and it has the snakes all over it. So the black and the red. I created my own costume from beginning to end and then incorporated like the emo lipstick like she does in I did something bad video and some of those.
You
So
look
I was
cute.
excited to wear that, but it was very hard to urinate. It was a very difficult time to take a piss with that outfit on. God bless Taylor Swift. I'm going to give her a a round of applause. I don't know how she does it. Maybe people strip her down. I don't know. But that outfit is difficult. Maybe she's got a zipper we don't see. I don't know. But
You
a
went
hard
all
outfit
out
to
on
get on.
all of your costumes. I wore black
I did.
for emo. That's it. I wore black.
Tina
That's it.
was emo Flo. That's what we
She
called
was
her.
emo
Emo
Florence
Flo.
Nightingale. So like the whole thing was black with white instead of white with black. Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
want to say she played the part. Every picture, she has a look kind of like if you've seen Nurse Blake's pictures from emo night. It's like this serious grunge,
He looked
angry,
great. He had like a wig and a beanie. Yeah, he looked good.
which
And
led
then
me
what was the
to,
show the first night or that emo night? What was was it?
well,
Oh,
there's
I
an
don't think.
emo band, which was really cool. I don't know if you went to that or not, but they had a band out on the pool deck that was like
No, I didn't go
all
to that.
emo band.
Wait,
That
was
was
that the
really
night that
neat.
was the bingo, the drag queen bingo? Is
I
that
think that was the next day. I'm trying
okay?
to think. All I remember though is um somehow at some point late in the evening, um I thought it'd be a great idea for Tina and I to do glamour shots. And if you've ever been on a cruise, you know what I mean by the glamour shots, okay? It's where, you go and take the cruise photo and they're all serious about it. They don't mean for it to be glamour shots, but they pose you in these strange ways. They tilt your head. And so we're dressed in this emo getup. And me and Tina and Nurse Fern were together. And as they're starting this pose, I realize that this just looks all wrong. They've sprawled us out on a couch. Which shout out to the lesbians. No problem with lesbians. Love my lesbians, but we look like a lesbian throuple. Like we literally looked like we were about to just start making out at any moment because they had me sprawled out on the couch. Maybe this is the way the woman saw it in her eyes. Like
I
I
don't
was the
think I even
lipstick
saw these
lesbian.
pictures.
They were they were not but they posed it in a way that poor Nurse Fern was looking down at me. Tina was staring off into outer space. And as they clicked these photos, my mind said, this is creepy. So we started calling random strangers to come into the photo to buffer the
Weirdness.
awkwardness. And
Yeah.
we added about 15 strangers into
Oh
this
my gosh.
picture. And it turned out to be an amazing shot of women. I think there was maybe one or two men in the back, but we were all in emo and it's you'd have to see the picture to understand it. It's hysterical. That's all I can say. I had to buy one. That's how hysterical it was, but that was very, very, very interesting. I think that covers day
Day 2.
2.
We
Yeah.
might not be correct. We might have some of the stuff mixed up, but you'll get a general overview anyway. So day 3, was the excursion day, right? The first excursion day in the Bahamas, right? No, Mexico?
Yes.
Bahamas.
No. Mexico.
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 And
Yep.
it
Nurse Erica stayed behind to get some rest and R&R on the
I did.
boat. And
I am not like
Tina
a
and I
big
went on the
party
trolley.
person. Yeah, and we overslept and woke up to the
Erica's full of it. Erica's such a liar. She likes to party alone with me.
Shut the
Erica,
I don't like to
don't
party
let her
alone. That's
don't
not
let her
true.
fool you.
What do
Erica's
you
doing
mean?
whippets out of the fridge. No, I'm just kidding. She's not
What?
not doing whippets. But okay, let me preface this. Had Erica had her Moscato, I think we would have seen
Well,
Erica
and if I
maybe.
wasn't like seasick, like
That's
let's
true. I
talk
keep
about
forgetting
that.
that.
Okay, so I've
I
only been
keep
on one cruise
forgetting that.
before, but I don't remember it ever being this choppy, this like swaying. It was like it would a couple of times you would feel it, and that was it. When I tell you this ship never stopped swaying the entire 5 days, I'm not kidding. Like nonstop from the moment we left. And we were high up. Like we were on a high floor and we had a balcony. So theoretically, we shouldn't have felt it that much. And I was wearing the stupid bands and like the wristband pressure point things and the like not scopolamine, but like the homeopathic ones you wear behind your ears, the patches. And I took meclizine at night. And this ship never, ever stopped swaying. Not it, never. And it was bizarre
It's
because
true.
you couldn't, it didn't look like it should be swaying. Like the sea looked fine. It wasn't crazy weather.
That just reminds me of the seas were angry, my friend.
The seas were, we'll
the
get to
seas
that.
were angry that day. Yeah.
But it just made no sense. And it makes me wonder if
rough.
there's something wrong with that particular ship. I mean, honestly, because it should not have been like that. We weren't in the North
You
Sea,
did feel
for
it a
God's
lot.
sake. It never stopped. Never. Ever. The entire time.
You did.
So I was always constantly like, not full-blown seasick,
borderline queasy.
Yeah, like, yeah. And so I just knew that if I drank too much, that was going to make it way worse. And then I couldn't get Moscato. So there was not a lot of drinking.
And then I decided that if I drank through it, I wouldn't feel it. That was my theory. My theory was, I've paid for the package. I might as well see what happens.
Yeah.
So, yes. So wait, we're on day 3, right? Okay.
Yeah. So we
day
woke
3
up
was
to
fine. The trolley ride.
You and Tina went on the
to?
excursion. I was gonna say we overslept, and then we woke up to the overhead announcement saying you have to be at the end of the dock or whatever, the pier, in like 15 minutes, and we weren't even awake yet.
That was also partly why Erica didn't go. Erica was
I'm like, there's no way I'm gonna be ready to go and at the end of the pier in 15 minutes. Like, F that, no.
Meanwhile, I went with the same makeup from the night before that I fell asleep in. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I did not have time to brush my teeth. I had stank breath all day. It was disgusting.
I could not have done that.
Threw on something and decided to put on my sunglasses because I look like death warmed over, which people still recognized me somehow, some way, because I looked like absolute dog ass. But that was fun.
But
Tequila tasting we did. We went shopping. We tried chocolate. It was a nice little trolley day through Mexico. It was fun.
I went up on the pool deck and I met up. I think that was the day I met up with Nurse Fern and Sara from the Gritty Nurse podcast. And we sat up there on the deck for like hours and hours and hours. And we had just a lot of like really good talks and getting to know each other. It was a lot of fun. A lot of people stopping by, asking if they could, like take a picture and talk to me and stuff like that. It was fun. It was just a very relaxing, low key day.
Yeah. Meanwhile, I'm doing tequila shots and and shopping through Mexico and eating chocolate. Can I tell you that tequila in Mexico doesn't mess around? I mean,
don't play.
Good grief. And the pharmacy, I did stop in one. I just
I
wanted
did
to
want to
see
go to the
the
pharmacy.
truth.
I wish I could have done
I
that.
wanted, and yes, they have all sorts of things to purchase, none of it
Everything.
regulated. I mean, it could be kind of scary. I don't know. Because this is so funny. Tina wanted magnesium supplement. So
You can get that over the
Tina's looking,
counter. What the hell?
she forgot to
Why?
bring it. So we go into this pharmacy to
Oh,
they're
I
probably
had some with
expecting us
me.
to ask for like some hardcore drugs. And Tina's like, "Do you have magnesium?" And they're like, "No, I'm sorry, we don't carry that." I'm like, figures. It freaking
What the
figures. They're
hell?
probably like, "What an idiot."
Magnesium. Oh my
So no
God.
magnesium, no
For her.
magnesium
Okay.
for Tina.
So then you guys
What
came
was
back,
that?
and then that night was, I think it was Nurses Got Talent, the show, right? I'm pretty sure.
Or it was the night before. I don't know. It's blurring, but it was
I
good.
think it was
It was a
Nurses
good
Got
show.
Talent. So they had like 6 nurses that had varying talents that submitted ahead of time, I think. And then they had 2 judges that were drag queens that were hilarious. I loved them. One was named Denali, which I thought
Yeah,
was
which is
cool.
my daughter's name.
Yeah.
Which is hysterical. There's a drag queen named
Named
Denali
Denali.
after my
Yeah.
child.
Yeah. And so,
But damn, I'll talk about Denali later. That drag queen,
oh my God.
flexible. Wow.
Amazing.
Holy
Yeah.
Testicle Tuesday.
Yeah.
Sorry,
So there
it wasn't
was
Tuesday. I
like
think
a
we were on
nurse that
Wednesday.
did ballet dancing. There was one that did like competitive jump rope, one that sang, I'm forgetting one. And then one came out, the one who ended up winning came out and sang what is the name of that song? It's like that famous song. And it was kind of it was a little bit of like a Susan Boyle kind of a moment, where like you're like, what is she gonna sing?
She was off the
And she hit
chain.
one
Good.
word. It's that, I can't sing it all, but at last, whatever that song is, right? All she had to do was sing at, and the whole audience erupted. She was phenomenal. Phenomenal. Needless to say, she won Nurses Got Talent.
Yeah.
She was great.
And a belly dancer. Shout out to the belly dancer, right?
Yep. Yeah. Yeah.
And the man that sang Sweet Caroline.
Sweet Caroline.
I remember that. Yeah. He said he made up an original song and then he busted into Sweet Caroline.
This is Sweet Caroline. Yeah. Yeah.
And
that was a good show.
Queens called it the white people's anthem. It's a Caucasian anthem. That's what they said.
It kind of is.
Yeah. They're like, "Oh, wow, you did the Caucasian anthem great," which was hysterical.
Yeah.
So anything else happened that night before?
What was that day, that dress up day?
So day 2 was sports night.
Was it sports night?
Sports night.
Yeah. So I wore Vegas Golden Knights shirt and hat, baseball hat. Yeah. And you had like a tutu. You had a whole thing. You had a whole thing for every single night. I was very low.
I did. I went a little over the top. I'm not gonna lie. It was a bit extreme.
Yeah.
I did a Buccaneer thing, but I glammed it out. I'm, from the Tampa Bay area, so I had to stick to my home team. And then Tina wore, I don't remember.
It was red.
Taylor Swift's boyfriend. Taylor Swift's
Taylor
Swift's boyfriend is what it is. Yeah.
And we went to dinner.
Or did it say Travis Kelce's girlfriend? I don't know. It was one of the two. Something like that.
Yeah. And the best one, we saw a group of nurses that dressed up like a league of their own. Like they had on those little pink baseball uniform dresses and they were carrying
so cute
blow up baseball bats. Like they were so freaking cute. And then there was a group of synchronized swimmers. They dressed as synchronized swimmers. Like they were people get so creative. They thought of stuff that I never ever would have thought of. The costumes go crazy. I
don't know why in my mind sports night I was thinking like you had to pay homage. Is that the right word? Like homage to a
I thought
team.
It was like your favorite sports team. That's how I interpreted it.
I wasn't thinking that really you could have done
any kind of
been a pole vaulter if I wanted.
Right.
I could
right.
I could have been a gymnast. I could have wore a Mary Lou Retton
Yeah, one girl wore like a
outfit.
bathing suit, like she was a competitive swimmer with the goggles and everything. Yeah. People get so
So
creative.
that was very, very, very creative. I thought that was good.
And we had a good dinner
And
that
Blake
night.
came out at many nights. He came out and met the
Every
people.
night,
We
yeah.
forgot to mention that.
Yeah, he came out every night
and
with
said,
different costumes for the theme and stuff, and took selfies with everyone. And he went to the shows. I think he went to most of the shows too. He was sitting up there.
yep.
And before the shows, he would like go around in the audience and take selfies with people and stuff like that. Yeah. So he was around quite a bit, if you're wondering. Yeah. And then
He was.
day 4, I don't even know. I don't know.
Day 4
was,
we're going to get into in part 2.
I can't believe that we're still talking about this and it's been an hour and we're only like halfway through the cruise. So I think we're going to have to split this into 2 separate episodes. So if you want to hear about, is it day, I don't know, day 4, day 5, and if you want to hear the Enema Award of the week and all of that, come back next week for part 2.
Maybe Erica will have her Moscato by then. Probably not.
Who knows?
And please, if you're enjoying this, make sure to follow. If you're actually listening to the podcast, give us a follow, give us a like, give us a rating, all that fun stuff.
Subscribe
Till next
to our
time
Patreon.
on the next what, Erica?
On the next Nurses Uncorked.
Nurses Uncorked. Thank you.